Hello, hello, hello. Just hopping on a couple of minutes early today. And, if you're watching, hi, welcome. Hi, Uncover the News. Hi, Marilyn Mian. If you're watching and haven't commented, hello, hello. Just thought I'd start a couple of minutes early, but not too early. Hi, be kind to all. Hi, Grandmere dear. Grandmere D. How are you? Hi, Sean Muller. Now, there's some things I was going to look up today. Parler, which is an app or something, wasn't it? The joy of done him. House of Reps in 2020. Senate races in Georgia. We'll look at those today. Done the Republican coming out. Ratzenberger. He's future. I'm going to look at him too. Hi, Annie S. Hi, Edith Rosales. Judy Malley. Hi, Karen Bissell. Bad karma bill. Oh, okay. What trumps karma? What plans does karma have for him? Bad karma bill. What's in store for Trump after he leaves? Yeah, Uncover the News. I've written that down. Can I read on his bad karma bill? Yes, I can. Hi, Edith Rosales. Will Trump resign or escape? Escape, like skip the country before 20th of the 1st. Hi, Carter Mancy Mesquite. Done the Russian harassment. I've done that. Okay, Trump 2024. Hi, Egypt. Hi, Shelby Lisa. You're not feeling well, Judy Malley. Well, that's okay. You don't have to comment, but thank you for joining us, even if you're not feeling well. Yeah, the G7. My husband was saying that Trump was just, during all the opening speeches, he was just tweeting how to steal the election and ignoring the world leaders, and then apparently he said something like, I look forward to working with you all further in the future, or whatever, something like that. Yeah, no. Hi, Clarence Fields. Hi, John Amato. Jello to you too, Dawn. Yeah. Hi to everyone else who's watching and hasn't. You don't have to comment, but thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Hi, Michelle Peterson. I appreciate that you're still joining in and watching. Yeah. So anyway, let's make a start. I want to have a look at the G7. Trump was supposed to be hosting it this year. Where's it being held? Does anyone know? I can have a look. How is 45 going to leave? I got the words, he'll sneak out undercover. Yeah, he'll sneak away. It's in. Last year it was in France. Where is it this year? Yeah, but where is it now? Sicily. Yeah, Italy's taken it on. Oh, hi. Yep. Chrissey on Zoom. Yeah, I do have Zoom. Hi, Linda B. Rheumatoid arthritis. Oh my goodness. Rest. I think I don't know how much you can do for rheumatoid arthritis. Not a lot, is there? Will Trump's kids go to jail? Yeah. December 20th, 2020. Yeah. No, that Tara's not good with dates, but yeah, I can ask the question. 20th, 12th, 2020. Okay, let's get into it, hey? G7. Hey, skipping the pandemic session on the G7. Trump skips to a G20 pandemic event to visit golf club as virus ravages in the US. How are the other countries reacting to Trump's behaviour at the G7? I got disgust, went through my mind, went through my head, just disgust. Oh God, that's the highest truth and compassion. Thank you for help. Clarity to the questions. Other leaders' behaviour. Other action to Donald Trump's behaviour. Hi, Christine Thomas. We're looking at how are other leaders reacting to Trump's behaviour at the G7. Not coming up to scratch. Childish. This is a child in the middle. You know, their assessment of him is he's just not coming up to scratch, not good enough. And he's acting childish. Hi, Edna May. And hi, everyone else who's watching. Basically, they're not very surprised they had plans. They always sort of had contingencies to work around him. Their challenge with him is, you know, just making sure he doesn't, they don't trust him. So their challenge is not letting him in on anything really, really important. You know, like there's a lot of closed door meetings and stuff at these events. The challenge is keeping him out of them because they don't want him in there. They don't trust him not to betray them to unfriendly nations. Hi, Robin Arvin. Deborah Costro, hi. Hi, Clarence. Sucking the air out of the Jennifer. Yeah, so this is a big challenge for them. They don't trust him. The base of this, yeah, the false knight, this is Trump at the base of it. He can't be trusted. They know that. They've just got to try and work around him. I'm sure Biden's going to get a brief sent to him. Past actions leading up to this. Yeah, again, this is all Trump's past actions. If they could have gotten away with not inviting the US, they would have, or they would have been okay if Pence had come in Trump's stead. But, you know, all they feel is that if Trump's just going to stab them in the back. He's stabbed all his allies in the back in the last few months, and all of the US's allies in the back in the last few months. Above the reading, a new start, completion of one journey, start of the other. Now below we've got Trump there as the Knight of Cups, the false knight. Biden's going to get full briefings from the closed door meetings and things like that. But there's going to be talk, I think, about restructuring the G7. Something's going to go on there. Maybe adding new members, or maybe if Trump gets in, excluding the US from it for the foreseeable future if Trump wins, but they know he's not going to, but they're prepared. They've got, yeah. Immediate future. Yeah, it's there. This is support. Three of Cups, support. they're going to, yeah, they're going to show at the end, I think, there's going to be a show of support for Biden in the near future from them. There is an abundance of things that they need to get done in the environment. There's an abundance of things that they need to get done, especially with COVID and stuff, and they're just getting on with it. Okay, they're just getting on with it. What do they see? What do they see with regard to Trump and his behaviour? They see someone who's determined to break down the legacy of the G7, the G8, whatever, G20, determined to break that down. This is what they see. Someone who's so determined to leave his own legacy behind that he doesn't care about other countries and allies. And they see someone who's riding for a fall as well, because it's the 10. A 10 is the end of a cycle. And again, we've got the end of one journey, beginning of another. What are their hopes and fears with regard to Trump? They really hope that he's gone. He's gone. He's out of their hair. And anything he tries, if he tries to influence the G20 in the future, or G7 in the future, or G20, they're just going to, freeze him out. He might demand a presence or whatever from whether he's hiding. He's not going to get it. But there's also the fear that he's not going to get put out in the cold where he belongs. There's, not a big fear, but there's a fear too that even they know he's going to be gone, but they know he's going to try and create havoc and stuff. He's going to cause trouble from the sidelines. But the outcome for the G7, G20, all these types of things is good. They're going to achieve a lot for the G7 this year, and they're going to be able to move into a better future without Trump. Page of Pentacles, new input, new offers. They're going to sort of use it as a bit of a rebuilding of relation. They're going to look at offering some new countries to join, to expand it a little bit, and looking at because there's a lot of things some of the other countries around the world can offer. So there might be a few offers going around to a few other countries in the next couple of years, because they want more leadership represented. Knight of Wands. They really want this over with. They they want to get through this summit, but they're holding back the impatience. So they want to get through this summit because Trump is just making it, he's making a fool of himself. And they're really insulted, and they really want to. There's even a few countries, I think, that have their own very quiet investigations happening into Trump and some of the dealings within their borders. I don't be surprised if Germany. No. 7 of Cups, yeah. They're aware that you know, they know that Trump's just trying to use it to gaslight American people into believing that he's still the leader. So, yeah, they've got so much to do. They can't be asked with this person. And they're not happy that he's using the summit as a way to gaslight his followers into believing he's going to be in charge forever. Hi, Renee Rogers. Hi, Kathy Cussy. Christine Thomas. Hi. Hi, Lisa Wilkinson. Sharon Sipe. Deborah. Hi, if I haven't said hello to you, it's just because I haven't seen your name, okay? But yeah, so they don't trust him. They really don't trust him. Deborah, I've accidentally put your thing up there. And a lovely picture it is too, Deborah. Or Renee, sorry. Hi. Yeah, so they don't trust him. They feel like he stabbed them in the back in the past, and they don't trust him not to do it in the future. They are going to come out at the end and show support for Joe Biden in I don't know what way, but there's going to be a clear, you know, indication. Maybe a statement saying they're looking forward to working with the president-elect next year or something. Yeah, they're looking at maybe opening up to a few other countries, but they're just, yeah, Trump's been playing some tricks and gaslighting and stuff like that in some of their own boundaries, and some of those countries have got investigations underway into him. So don't be surprised if he's, you know, persona non grata, but he's going to try and stick his aura in for a few years. Is Trump going to make some trouble for the next couple of years from wherever he's hiding? Probably, yes. But just wondering if it'd be the first ex-president ever to be declared an enemy of the state. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Do you want me to ask that question? Entertainment purposes only, YouTube. And thank you very much for the thumbs up. Hi to everyone watching who hasn't commented. It's lovely that you're watching me. I really appreciate it. Is Trump, interesting question, is Trump going to end up being declared an enemy of the state? Hang on. I accidentally put some cards in upside down here. So. Is Trump going to end up being declared an enemy of the state? I just think that it's, if he goes and hides in another country, he can't be expected to be briefed on this and that. And if he, you know, Shamu. Who's Shamu? I've heard the name before, but I'm not really familiar with Clarenceville. Who's Shamu? Will Trump be declared an enemy of the state? Well, that's pretty much the same thing, Christine Thomas. But if he's there's going to be a lot of investigations into him, lots and lots. His words, things have been, they're going to be going through every bit of paper and every recording they have from the White House. The full, so that's a yes, the full journey on a different way. Three of Swords, betrayal. Yes. 10 of Cups. Ooh, there's going to be, this investigation's going to go into some of the upper echelons of the Republican Party as well. But I asked if he was going to be declared an enemy of the state. 7 of Wands, defensive, setting boundaries. They're going to look at it, how many boundaries he's crossed. 6 of Swords, troubled waters, movement away. If he moves away, if he runs away to another country, Empress, there's going to be an abundance of evidence against him. I don't think he has any idea how much of what he thought was destroyed actually wasn't. How they backed everything up, everything. And the truth will come out that his manipulations and his lies if he skips the country, yes. If he stays and faces the music, possibly not. But if he skips the country, it's a whole new ball game for him, and one he's not going to like. It's still a toss-up. To my, I think we've all seen him in broad daylight, in public, do things that he shouldn't have done. At best, described as foolish, and at worst, traitorous. Whether he does get declared that or not, he's in for a whole new different life from the one he thought he'd continue to have, and I don't think it's one he's prepared for. Interesting. Hi, what? Hi, Twainer. Hi, Michael McDowell. Hi, Greta. What the? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I just tell you, thumbs are back in operation. Thumbs are back in operation. Okay. Now, I've looked at the G7, how they think Trump's behave, what they think of Trump's behaviour. There's definitely some investigations going on. I think Germany might have. Let's have a look at how Trumpy Dump is feeling at the moment. He out on a golf course or whatever. I mean, honestly, how disrespectful is that? Perhaps they should just kick him out. Say, look, go home. You're not wanted here. just, you know, perhaps, you know, I think they'll make it clear. I just, if he, in the highly unlikely event that he manages to wrangle his way back into the presidency, there's just not going to be any summits because he's not going to be invited to any of them. There's not going to be, it's going to be a G6. Okay, how's Trumpy Dump doing today? Oh, there's been a little bit of a split. Oh, lovers reversed. Oh, a little bit of split. Hi, Cardamancy. Hi, Bonnie Russell. So he's tweeting madly. There's been a bit of a split with someone. I'm not taking any notice of what Lindsey Graham's saying. Three of Pentacles. He's trying to work with a new group of people, new bunch of lawyers. I think this new bunch with that Sydney Powell or whatever her name is. I mean, honestly, claiming that somebody who's been dead for 7 years is behind this rigging of voting machines. I think one of the reasons that I think it's not just COVID-19 that's led to a huge increase in voting by mail. It's been a big reason, probably the biggest reason. But another reason I think is that I think there still would have been an increase in voting by mail without COVID because people don't trust the voting machines. Anyway, 6 of Cups. When I was king, or whatever, there was what was it? If I was, this is he's in fantasy land. You know, I just can't wait to be king. He's, you know, I'm going to get that back. I'm going to get that back, even though it's really been borne on him really, really clearly that he knows he lost. He knows he lost, but he's still determined to get it back. I can regain everything I had. Put things right. I can put things right. You know, because I'm the only one who can bring harmony to the US. Because if I'm not president, my followers are going to cause trouble. So they need me there to keep things calm. He honestly thinks that. People around him want to avoid the conflict that's happening, that he's going to cause. They want to avoid that, but he doesn't give a rat's ass. The more trouble he can cause, the better if he is a president. He will create problems and say, well, I'm the only one who can solve it. But, you know, since you kicked me out, I can't solve it. So, you know, that's his plan. He's in for a bit of a shock. He thought he had all this forward momentum going. He got a bit of a shock the other day with Michigan lawmakers telling him to get stuffed, basically. We're not going to elect, you know, bring in electors that are going to do what you want. No, you know, that's ridiculous. The electors are who they are. We're not going to change that for you. So some of his plans have come to a bit of a stall. I think he's going to get the same result from Philadelphia. Oh, huge, big tower. But this is upside down. Tower moment, upside down. Something else is going to happen that, you know, is not just bad for him. You know, long-term viewers of me will know that my thing with the tower and Trump is that every tower moment is just another stone being pulled out of the foundation to weaken the tower. The tower's very near to total collapse, and yeah, and he's really, really scared of that. He knows if he can't hang on to the office, this is what's waiting for him. Total eclipse of the, you know, there's some eclipses coming up, I understand. Just, yeah. This is, sometimes the tower reversed is being able to stop the toppling and all that, but not in this case. This is just, yeah, more's yet to come out, and it's going to do, he's really scared of it, of what else is going to come out. Oh, he's a bit worried that his legal team's not going to be able to help him. They're being very stodgy. Well, they've got nothing to work with. Nothing to work with. Airy-fairy claims that not even Fox News buys is ridiculous. Kayleigh McEnany, did you see that thing with her and Caitlin Collins from CNN? Caitlin Collins was going to, I have a question, and Kayleigh McEnany snapped back at her, I don't take questions from activists, and walked out the room. Whew. That's ridiculous, isn't it? 8 of Pentacles. No. He just has not got what's needed. He's a jack of all trades, master of none, really. And this is being made so clear in the last 4 years, and he's just viewed as someone who really, the only thing he's good at is gaslighting people. But that's not the sort of thing you need to be good at to be the president. That's the last thing you need to be good at. There's a lot of details that are going to come out against him. I still feel all that stuff that he thought they'd been destroyed, people have kept copies of. He might have succeeded in getting rid of some things, but not as much as he thought. Movement away, fractures at home. Yeah. This is the Republican Party. His relationship with the Republican Party, not with Mitch McConnell or Lindsey Graham and stuff. But he's, yeah. I don't know why I keep, when I do these readings on Trump, and I keep expecting a bleh feeling, but it's just like, no, I don't get the creepy Uber thing I get when I even think of Stephen Miller. It's just like, you know, the threat he poses is real. But I guess it's like you can't, you know. I get nothing, you know, when I, no creepy palooza feeling or anything like that. Just like he's a blank puppet. He doesn't come to life until somebody sticks their hand up him. Does that make sense? It's like a puppet. He's just a blank until somebody pulls his strings or, you know, puts their hand in his head and makes him talk and stuff. So at the core of himself, he's just blank. Wow. Hi, J Cat Lady. Hi, Kathy W. How are you? Red hot poker, E1. Now, is Trump going to resign or skip the country? Well, we'll ask this in two questions. Is Trump going to resign? Before 2020. If he did that, it would be so Pence could pardon him of any actions that he might have done while in office. Maybe. No. 9 of Cups. That's not what he wants. He doesn't want to resign. If he resigns, it's conceding. 8 of Swords. He's really painted himself into a corner. That's no. High Priestess, maybe. No, he doesn't fit into his agenda to resign. If he doesn't resign, he can go and sit overseas and go, I'm the rightful president. And I think that's 10 of Wands. He wants to place a burden on the new administration. So, 7 of Wands. Reversed. Seven of Wands reversed. The standing ground. Yeah. What is the trumpet sounds that some of us... Oh, you know, somebody asked that of another reader too. The trumpet sounds. I'll have a look at that. I'll have a look. Trumpet sounds. Some people are hearing. A word went through my mind, but I'm going to... Atmospheric went through my mind. But yes, I'll definitely look at that in a few minutes. And how are you, Pat, too? Patricia? Lovely to see you here. Yeah, it's just normally a no, but it's reversed, so it's a yes. You know what? He doesn't want to. He really doesn't want to resign. We've got the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Cups. An offer, Queen of Cups, Page of Wands. Another yes. Failing to set boundaries. He really doesn't want to. But he might if he can get a guarantee of a pardon out of it from Pence. But he'd prefer to go sit overseas in another country, and because resigning is a way of conceding, and he doesn't want to do that, and he'd rather go and sit overseas and say, I'm the rightful president, and stick his nose in from over there. Yes, Patricia Ray, yes. I've written that down, that I will do that. The word atmospheric went through my mind, and I sort of like got a flash of aurora type lights. So I will do a reading on that. In fact, we'll take a break away from the trumpet for a bit. Okay, and hi Tara Raina, and I'll have a look at that. Thank you to everyone who's watching too. I really appreciate you joining me and joining us. It's, you know, the more I open up just the intuitive side of myself, and I've always had a very curious brain that works in so many different ways across between scientific and appreciating fact and proof, but also knowing that science can't explain everything, and it's such an interesting thing. I'll just get the deck of cards I want for this. I'm going to use the Voyager deck here. Intuition cards for the 21st century by James Wanless, PhD, and the artist is Ken Knutson. And a great cards for this sort of a reading, I feel, because they are that, to me, they're this gorgeous mix of what we know scientifically and what we don't. And also, I also have the acceptance that science is not going to have the answer for everything. Because there are so many things in the world that, you know, I love my scientific curiosity, but I also love the other side of my brain that's that's not, that's more intuitive, and the curiosity into what we can't always explain. You know, there are some people who, if you can't explain it scientifically or logically, they just think it's bulldust. Well, no, that's bulldust. I think you have to have a pretty good well of acceptance within you to have a decently balanced life. The acceptance that maybe you can't explain everything, and just because you can't explain it shouldn't mean you turn your back on it. Hi, Lucinda. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying hello. Hi, Dave Martini. Now, you've been hearing trumpet sounds for the last 2 months. You know, it's not the. I've watched some other readers and they've gotten this same question. I think Linda G asked Sterling about it. If you've not watched Sterling, Sundays Linda G does a session with him, and yeah, he's great. He's wonderful. I heard the word atmospheric, or it passed through my mind, but also colours, like colours in the sky. Okay, guides with the highest truth and compassion. Thank you for helping me find something insight and clarity to the question of the trumpet sounds that some people have been hearing. You know, this is a phenomenon that it's not just a 20th century or 21st century phenomenon. It's something that's been going on for a long time. Creativity, the three of crystals. Swords. Some people see it as heralding bad things, but it's not. This is the Empress card, and in this deck, to me, it represents the earth that supplies abundance. So it's definitely something that is earth or atmospheric bound. It has been used by people in the past, you know, the trumpets of doom, the trumpets are heralding this or that. Basically, this is the Seven of Cups. It has been used to manipulate people's beliefs and scare them into a way of believing. Time and space, judgment in time and space. It's not. This is 20. This is judgment. Again, there's been this use of this noise to say, you know, judge as a judgment on people and things like that. So it's been manipulated and used, but it is a natural thing. turn the deck the other way now. I've done 4 onto the bottom. The priestess. Yeah, like I said, it's something that's been used to, you know, religious agendas and things like that. But 7 of Worlds, breakthrough. There's going to actually, this is interesting because I think that they're getting closer to finding out what it is. It is a natural phenomena, okay? Whether it can be only heard at certain times of the year in certain parts, it is a natural phenomena. There's going to be an explanation for it. There's going to be a breakthrough and an explanation is going to come out of it. This is interesting. This is the Man of Cups and the Surfer, but it's got a cup-like thing, a horn-like cup there. And it's got the flower coming out. Again, that's indicating to me it's a natural phenomena. It's a frequency thing too. You know, Patricia, you might be able to hear it, but somebody standing right next to you might not. Or someone standing down the road might not. There are things above a certain pitch that I can't hear because I've lost some hearing. Devil's play. Again, it's something that's been used to scare people in the past. Man of Wands actor. Sometimes it's even being used to soothe. Oh, the trumpets are heralding good things, depending on who wants to use it. So depending on the type of leader, you know, it's atmospheric. You know, 4 of Worlds. Again, it's just something that people have been using to cling on to power, to scare people. 6 of Wands, trust. This is interesting because this is the 6 of Wands and it's the trust. And there's a lot of clouds here. Clouds. As to when these things happen, new partnerships, things happening with different parts of the there's so much about how the earth operates that we know a lot about how the earth operates. We know about its molten core, we know about the different layers of the atmosphere, we know about how winds are formed and how rain and storms are formed, and we know about how wind and water shape the surface of the earth once it's been, the upwelling of magma and all that to create new landscapes. And then we know about how water and wind help shape those new landscapes, which is my specific area of expertise with my undergrad was geomorphology, which is the weathering of the planet Earth. And we know that there's, the Earth's 70% water, but there's still so much we don't know about interactions. And this to me is interactions of different layers in the sky, different things in the sky, And it's probably an eerie sound. It's like the wind going over an empty plane. And you hear that, whoo, that sort of thing. I've heard it when I was working up in the Kimberleys in the north of Western Australia on a vast empty, you know, with the wind going, and it's like it would stir up dust and things like that, and you'd get this whoo sound, and it's an interaction. It's something atmospheric. It's interaction with other things in the atmosphere. It's something that's been going on as long as this planet has been here. And it's nothing to be scared of. I think they will have a breakthrough in it. Whether it's a precursor to a natural event, not sure. But I also think there's a frequency thing there where not everyone can hear it. But it's not anything to be scared of, Patricia. It might be driving you nuts, unfortunately, if you're one of the people who can hear it, but it's natural phenomenon. It's just something that they haven't been able to get to the bottom of yet. Okay? Oh, well, yeah, you can't, don't. Greta saying she used to be fine with Ricky Schroeder and not so much now as he likes Trump's bad taste. Well, I've been guilty of unsubscribing to a YouTube channel because he's a big Trump fan and all that. And it's like, look, people have a right to their political beliefs. It might make you rethink what you thought about a person, but you know what? I think Scott Baio's one. Should you stop watching someone's shows because of their political beliefs and all that? If you really feel you have to, that's fine. But there's other reasons to, if they were a supporter of certain actions of Trump's, like kids in cages and basically using public office to line his pockets and things like that, well, yeah. Everyone's entitled to their beliefs and entitled to follow the person they want to, and you're entitled to then say, well, I really can't watch this or that, but have a think about how much you're willing to cut out of your life because of somebody's political beliefs. Yeah, Patricia, it's atmospheric. It's atmospheric. It's some interaction within the atmosphere. It can happen anywhere in the world. Are you at a northern latitude, a more northern latitude, or are you like between the tropics? Are you north or south of a tropic? I think, Patricia, if you were, you'd be north of a tropic because you're not in the southern hemisphere. I think if you're north or south of a tropic, you're more likely to hear it. Oh, bless him, Randy Quaid. I've got such a soft spot for him. So many good memories and laughs and all that. But yeah. But Randy Quaid also has a history of mental health problems and alcoholism and all that. So, you know, when you consider why someone's buying into it, yeah. There are things I don't agree with my siblings with, but, you know, that's their right to disagree with me and my right to disagree with them. I still love them. Okay, let's get on to the second question I asked. That was a really interesting question about the trumpets. I'd heard it being asked somewhere else. It is. I think they're going to find there's going to be a breakthrough towards that. But, you know, it's not going to be big on the news or anything. Yep. I'm not going to read on whether John Jr. will have a bad time with COVID. Uncover the news. I just, as with anyone who catches this incredibly horrible virus, just wish for the best and hope that he makes a full recovery. Okay. You would like to know if Susan Collins cheated. I can look at that, Estelle, in a minute. But first, the other question that I had for the duo of Trump, first was, is he going to resign? And the second is he going to skip the country? So, skip the country. Hi, Teresa Judy. You know what? If people can manage to hold their tongues, I think you'll find a lot of healing will happen in the next couple of years with people who have been split by this divisive issue. It might have been one thing when it was Republican versus Democrat. You can accept that, but when they going full Trump, everyone needs some time. Give it time. I'm sure that there'll be a lot of healed breaches at some stage, but it needs to be given time. When they see what Biden does and the things he fixes, a lot of people will come out and say, well, you know, I'm still a strong Republican, but going full Trump was, in hindsight, not the best thing. Give it time. Okay, will Trump try to skip? No. Ace of no. Page of Wands, no. He's been offering money to some countries. and they've been telling him to get stuffed. He's been reaching out to some countries and they've just been, what? No. Let's look at it this way. Ecuador's not going to put him up in their embassy. 2 of wands. He plans to skip, just getting setbacks and stepbacks. He's not getting the response from some countries that he wanted. All of these are yes cards, but they're all reversed, so it means no. The sun reversed. Depression. A lot of these countries do not want that light, that spotlight on them. Every card's being reversed. This is the only yes card, which is a no reversed. He has stolen things, and you know, he's trying some countries first because I think he thinks if he can go to some of these other more benign countries, but they still don't have extradition, it'd be better for him than like going to Russia or Saudi Arabia or whatever. And he's trying, he's really going to try and sneak away. I've always said he's going to try and skip the country, but he's not going to be able to. He's not going to make it. So, yeah, he definitely wants to go. He's got this picture of himself sitting in this luxurious mansion in some non-extradition country, operating this television network or whatever, and, you know, being a real pain, declaring that he's the rightful president, blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, and trying to stir up trouble. Oh, no, this part of the tower, yeah, this is a no, but it's reversed. So that's a yes as well. So he really, really, he knows that everything he's built up with his family, his children, is going to come crashing down in such a big way. It's not going to be recoverable for him in the US. Queen of Wands. He wants to avoid investigations. This, I think, is Letitia James. He's really scared of her. He wants to avoid her at all cost. 8 of Swords, but it's reversed, so that's a yes. We've got 4 yeses. And 5 no's, I think. He thinks if he stays, he's going to end up in jail. But if he goes, he's really going to be restricted by what he's going to do. He's not going to be able to travel freely around the world. Yeah, he's going to be isolated. He's definitely going to try and run. That's a yes. That's a yes. That's a maybe. This is a yes. Yes, yes, yes. 6 of Wands is a yes. So I've done 12 cards. And it's like, yeah. Honestly, I think he's going to try and skip the country. Whether he'll make it is another thing. But he's already put out some feelers to some countries that have said, no friggin' way. We do not need the hassle. You know? He might even try and set up in some embassy somewhere. But I think he's going to try and physically leave the country. You off, what? Good night. Will Emily Murphy show up on Monday? If not, what the consequences? Yeah, there's something she's got to do on Monday, isn't there? Well, Pat Toomey's come on to, yep, congratulated Biden and Harris. Well, there you go. No. Hi, Lisa. I don't think it's been good for everyone if he skipped the country, because he could just create havoc. You live in Oklahoma. Yeah. You're north of, yeah. Not that far north, but north of I think if you live north or south of a tropic, you're more likely to hear it. I live south of the Tropic of Capricorn, but I'm not south enough to hear those things. But, you know, as I said, when I was working in the Kimberleys, which is not north of the Tropic of Capricorn, you could hear that was a real wind. You could put it to the wind. It wasn't a high atmospheric thing. So, but Oklahoma is very vast, wide open spaces and all that as well. So it's a really interesting thing about the trumpet sound. Okay. What's in my little book? I do believe he's going to try and run. Will Trump's karma bill, bad karma bill, come true? When will it come true? It's true now. That just went through my head. Trump's bad karma bill. Let's have a look. Good night, Greta. Thanks for joining us. What, Patricia, that might be one of the reasons you do hear those trumpets, because you're more open and sensitive to those sorts of things. And you hear higher frequency things, I think. Hi, Crazy Cat Farley. Night, Greta. Oh, that's all right, Laura. I'll be here for a while yet, so. I do take bookings for readings now too. So if you want a reading, email me. If you're in Perth in Western Australia and you want a reading, definitely email me. I'll be able to hook up it with you in person. But otherwise, I can do an email reading for you, or we can do a reading on Zoom or Skype. So yeah, or even over the phone if you want, messenger or something, or just a phone call, but in a different country. But if you're in Australia, I can do it on the on a phone call, or again Zoom, Skype. If you're in Perth, definitely email me and we can sort out a face-to-face if you want, or you can do email. You can do a couple of questions for email. It's all the same price, which is 45 US, 60 Australian, 60 Canada. And if you're in Great Britain, I think it'd probably be about £30 or something. I'd have to have a look at that. Yeah, maybe a little bit less. Yeah. Hi, Georgie. How you going? It's okay. Trump's guides of the highest truth and compassion. Thank you for helping me find insight and clarity in this question. Trump's harbor bill will come to hell. What will happen? When will he face justice? As I said, I never wish for bad on people, even someone like Trump. What I wish for is that they face justice for their actions. Thank you, Kathy W. Hey, babe, how you going? I'm not bad. I am, but sweetheart, do you think you could do me another coffee? How about if I put the cup on the end of the table and you make it, nobody can see you, and then just put it on the end of the table? Can you do that? Isn't he so sweet? He's going to make me a fresh coffee. Just give me a minute. They all know you're camera shy, but they all like to say hello to each other. So it's just down here on the end of the table. I'll put it, yeah. Isn't he sweet? He'll get there. He'll make it when he can. So he'll probably forget. If he forgets. Oh, I've got to do something about that gap. There we go. There we go. Okay, Trump. Thank you, Renee. I think he's a sweetie too. Yeah, sorry, the gap. So, thank you, Patricia. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, thank you, Kathy W, for that thing about your reading as well. And Linda B, I hope everything going well for you too. I did a reading for Linda B as well. She's one of the ones I gave away. So when I hit 1,000 subscribers. Hi, P. Kerr. Oh, 21st, December 21st. No, I haven't looked at that yet, Teresa Judy, but somebody, was it December 20? 20th of the 12th, 2020? Or someone wants 21st as well. I'll have a look and see. Look at both those days. Hi, Human Generic. Anyway, when will Trump's karma bill be due? Waiting. Suspension. It's going to be a little time yet. But trust me, he is feeling its bite. Anxiety. He's one of the reasons he tweaks so much is because he can't sleep, and sometimes it's due to, but other times it's due to, he really is scared. He really is scared. You would think someone who's a sociopath wouldn't be scared, but he is, because it's him. He doesn't care about anyone else. When people like that are cornered, they're dangerous. So this is not making the situation any better. Yeah, so he's really scared. When's his karma thing going to be due? When a new relationship is happening? This could be after Biden's sworn in. Biden has said that, he's going to let the DOJ do their job. If the DOJ decide that they're going to go after Trump, then they'll go after Trump. He's not going to be in the wings telling them. Be careful. Okay, thank you. He's got the sexiest voice, hasn't he? Yeah. You will be celebrating Be Kind to All. Yeah, he's on thin ice. He is on thin ice. This is not necessarily the inauguration either. This could be the Electoral College. Is that what people are thinking of, the 20th of December, the Electoral College? I thought it was like the 14th. So like the Electoral College, that's basically final certification and confirmation of Biden as president-elect. So he's on thin ice. He's constricted. This is, his movement's going to be restricted. His movement is going to be restricted. Remember, I've always maintained he's going to try and skip the country, but he's not going to be able to. Always maintain that. The winter solstice. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, he's going to feel like he's going to feel so betrayed and stabbed in the back. In his mind, all those Republican states like Michigan, he's not just going to go after the governor of Michigan now. He's going to be mean about the Republican lawmakers in Michigan as well. Seven of Swords. He's stealing. It's going to come out. It's theft from the American people. It's not far off. He's going to be wishing that he'd taken people up on offers of early resignation. He's going to be wishing that he'd done that, but he knocked those back. He didn't want an offer of resigning early. He wasn't interested in that. So he knocked it back, and he's really going to regret that. It's going to be some really, really rocky road for him, a really turbulent time for him. So far, apart from I've got all major arcana, all minor arcana. There's been no major arcana. Okay, he's going to be on a really, really rocky. It's going to be turbulent for him. Oh, the Sun. And it's not going to be happy. It's not going to be a happy time for him. This is the Sun. This is the major arcana. And that means that despite the rest being minor arcana, which are indicative of shorter periods of time, I think that's all going to be the start of him paying his dues. And it's going to be quite a long time. It's not going to be quick. It's not going to be quick for him. He's going to have to. Thank you, Christine Thomas. He's going to have to really, really tough it out, and yeah. Here's another one, major arcana. Bad luck. Turn of turn for the worse. An extended turn for the worse. It's not gonna happen very quickly for him. The Lovers, again, minor, major arcana, again indicating an extended period of time. That's interesting. Like it's all going to start relatively quickly, especially after the confirmation of Biden with the electoral vote. Parting of ways, fighting. The Republicans are going to abandon him. A lot of them are going to have their own problems to deal with. And, yeah, there's going to be a tipping point. Something's going to come out, and it's going to be a tipping point. And people are going to go, oh, hell no. I am not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. They're going to make that critical decision. That's it. He's out. Yeah. So it's going to start soon. It's going to start soon. But that's start. It's going to take quite a while to play out. Who's talking about writing in Trump's name? Human generic? Human for Merrick, more power to them. I love that. Dawn, yes, I know you meant human generic. And I think you said earlier you can't type for anything tonight. That's okay. I think we all know who we mean when I've been known to, when I'm typing comments, I get the wrong thing. But I do like that human for Merrick. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. So Dawn, were you saying you're having trouble with arthritis or something? So I get a giggle when I make mistakes spelling, and so it's like, but please don't take offense that I had a giggle. I just thought it sounded really cool. Because I don't laugh at anything like pain or anything. I'm going to go get my coffee before I put my mouth in it, even or my foot in it. Look at that nice big cup. Okay, now I've recovered my equilibrium. Oh, Merrick Garland on the list to be Biden's Attorney General. Do you want me to read on that? Let's have a look. That would be sweet justice. Will Merrick Garland be appointed the Attorney General? Just because you're not aggressive doesn't mean you don't get things done. Momentum, definitely got some momentum behind it. Yes, his focus is to get to the truth of things. So he's not going to be pushing time frames. You get to the truth. The hermit, he was isolated for a long time, but he's really taken in a lot of that during that time that he's been shoved to the side. And so he's really going to encourage shining that light. He's got a lot of wisdom to bring to the table there in that role. It would be a minor triumph and celebration for him. It's interesting because you got the gaslighting card on top of the sword of truth. He's going to cut through all of that gaslighting bullshit that bar instituted. Going to shine a light on a lot of restrictive things that have been going on. He was put out in the cold, so it'll be a homecoming for him after being put out in the cold. He's going to hire a lot of young people, but really, really smart young people. He's going to re-establish the DOJ as standing for the rule of law. This has always been the emperor card. It's been other things at times, but when we're talking about politics, for me, a lot of the time it's been the rule of law. A steady leadership and belief in the rule of law. I think, yes, he could get it. And there's going to be a lot of things that he will bring to the table. And he's not going to be afraid to clear house. If he finds that people who have been doing the wrong thing over the last 4 years, he will not be afraid to clear house and say that there's going to be some people sent to jail under his watch, possibly even some DOJ people. But yeah, he will really re-establish the DOJ as standing for the rule of law, for the country's rule of law, not for an individual's, but for the country's, and he'll be a good leader for that. He might not be an aggressive person in what you mean, but that doesn't mean he's not determined. He will make sure he's very patient, and he's not just going to go after someone because he thinks that they, may have done something. He will wait for proof. So I think there's a good chance he will get it. And I think it could be something that he will stay in. I'm going to ask the question, even if he's made Attorney General, will he end up on the Supreme Court? Okay. Preet Bharara, yeah. Neil Catchell, I think, would be really cool in the thing as well. I think anyone who's on the shortlist has got an equal chance of being appointed Attorney General. I can do a read on him. Preet, do a read on Preet. What are his chances of being Attorney General? Let's have a look. King of Cups. He's definitely up there with Biden. He's definitely Hangman. Could be a delay in him taking the office if he gets named for whatever reason. Again, like Merrick Garland, he will bring in a lot of fresh, new, very smart younger people. He's really, really I think he might also, it sounds like a bit of a off the wall thing, because I don't know how much experience he would have in this kind of thing, but he might be considered something with the Treasury, because I feel this isn't, at first I thought, oh, he'd go aggressively after Trump, but no, it's more like I can see him overseeing resources. Judgment, whatever position he's put in there, he is a man of very good judgment. And again, if he does end up at Treasury, he'll be bringing in those good, smart people, and his efforts will really, really bring in results. People will see real results. Again, he got sacked or something, didn't he? He was put out in the cold, and he's learned a lot. He's sat back, he's observed, he's learned a lot, and yeah, be a big burden. It would be a burden. No card. Be a heavy burden to carry for Attorney General or Treasurer, but he's equal to it. He's equal to it, and he would see either of these departments out of a very dark time, which is, the end of a cycle. He would see them. He would close down that dark time, that cycle of darkness that they've been in, and he would bring new hope to the position and new inspiration. I think he's in consideration for 2 jobs, and that's where the suspension might be happening. I can see him doing both jobs, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was offered both the AG and the Treasury, and for some reason I just but if he's the AG, he will go after Trump like a rat up a rain pipe. Glenn Kirschner, yes, I can do him. I love Glenn Kirschner. I'll do Glenn Kirschner. Glenn Kirschner. It's an offer, but he's not sure he wants it. But he would be a really, really good, wise, compassionate leader who would bring renewed energy. You see the little lizard down the renewal, regrowth to the office. He would bring it back together. Normally this is my Republican card, but he would bring the DOJ back together to the happy, well-functioning family that it should be. But he's not sure he wants it. Got a cautionary tale card here for him, and it's interesting because it's on the Four of Cups. Not sure he wants it. He'd rather concentrate on abuses of power. Knight of Pentacles, slow moving, thorough. The Hangman, suspension. Again, it's, yeah. Offering it to him is something that may be in the air, but not quite sure that that's going to happen. I get the idea that, he put forward the idea of an independent counsel. Don't be surprised if he's offered that job. Chaos, fighting, getting in there and fighting for people. I think he feels he'd be better doing something like the independent counsel's job, looking at all those abuses of power and stuff. There's definitely a change coming for him, but it's not going to be the AG role. But there's definitely a change coming for him in what he's doing. But whatever it is he's going to be placed into, he's got all the tools to do it and to manifest it. I don't think he's going to get offered the AG role. I think he'd be a good leader, but I think he's got in his mind something else. He wants to follow something else. He wants to follow these abuses of power, and so for him, no, I don't think he's going to get offered the AG's role, but he might be that independent, end up being that independent counsel that he's suggested is needed, or he might not. I think he feels like, yeah. We have cable here. We have optic fiber coming into our house, and it's, one of the fastest means of getting internet, and we still get buffering. So imagine it's okay. Throw my hair back. Had a few questions to read on the winter solstice. I'm going to get, what is the deck of cards that I want to use here? Queen of the Moon Oracle, why not? Let's have a look at the winter solstice. Let's have a look at the winter solstice. I'll stay on for a little bit longer today too. just nice not to have to cut off at 2 hours or whatever. I was ready to order the camera I wanted, and they don't have it in stock, so I'm going to have to wait to get my new camera. But they had a cheaper version with a different brand, but no, I know the one I want. And yeah, so yeah, I'm definitely going to be using the book for these, okay? But I will use I will do intuitive reading based on the images first. So I'm going to do 3 cards for the winter solstice, okay? Leading up to it, the day of the solstice itself over the 20th, 21st, and what's going to happen leading out of the solstice. Okay, let's have a look. Leading up to abundance, the actual solstice itself, protection, wanting crescent 1, hunter, and coming out of the solstice, what's in storm after the solstice, blooming. Wow, that's interesting. And that's a flower moon, so a hunter moon. People, this beautiful lady, she's gathering together the animals and all that, but it's not to hunt per se, but it's to hunt animals or whatever. But it's abundance, so she's there to help provide. If you have a special affinity for nature and for animals, you're really going to feel that even more leading up in the day or so leading up to the solstice. Don't be surprised if more animals come up to you if you have an affinity for animals, or if you are drawn to be outside more than you usually are. Like if you're like one of those people, you'll take a 2-hour hike a day, you might think, I'm going to add some extra time to my hike today. I want to be out here more. The abundance that nature can give you in terms of peace and harmony and a feeling of safety, because nature is nature. Animals are animals, you know, plants are plants, the earth is the earth and all that. But it's like with the hunter, you'd rather be out there than closer to people at this time, because it's a way of hunting for escape from people. If you might feel the need to be away from people more than you normally would. Okay, that's leading up to the solstice. Protection. This bird has a young woman in her nest, and she's flying her to a safer place. So it's, and this is just what I'm getting from the pictures. So it's like you feel over the solstice, you're going to feel like this bird is acting as a guardian for this girl. She's vulnerable. She's alone. She's got no clothes on. She's in a very vulnerable position. But this bird hasn't picked her up in its talons, and she's in a nest, and it's flying her in the nest to a safer place. So over the solstice, the winter solstice, you're going to feel like and it's could be the summer solstice for us down here too. I'll have to check when the summer solstice is, but it's you're going to feel like a new renewed feeling of being protected, of that someone is looking after you and yours. Yeah, it'll be, if you've been feeling a little bit exposed or vulnerable, you're going to start to feel less so, more protected. Don't be surprised if people who you might not normally think of as protective of you do something that is protective of you. So the solstice is going to bring in, maybe it's also going to herald in, that's change in the world that's going to come with Biden being the president. This person can sleep knowing that she's safe, and that, this bird is looking out for her and protecting her and guiding her to a new, safer place. I think people are going to start sleeping easier as well. Now, coming out of the solstice, blossoming, the flower moon blossoming. And again, this is just from me looking at the images, and then I'll look at the deck, look at the book. Again, they're beautiful, beautiful cards. I don't know, there's some light shining right in on it from outside, but it's, people are going to start seeing new hope. A feeling of new hope is going to bloom. Things are going to be more certain by then. And yeah, just people are going to come out of the winter solstice feeling with hope blooming, not just hope about, there's going to be hope, I think, about COVID. Every day we seem to hear that things are coming closer and closer with vaccines and stuff to being released, and hearing that maybe some people have already had a vaccine and stuff like that. So there's going to be new hope with COVID. There's going to be some flowers of hope are going to bloom quickly, but some are going to be like planted as seeds, and they're going to take time. So it's not just going to be a quick flash in the pan of new hope happening after the solstice. It's going to be this time, the start of a time of more hopeful, a continued period of hope, and that's going to last a while, because you can see her dress is, it's stretching out in front of her. So it's this new period of hope. It's going to last a while, and it's going to be blooming for quite a while. So that's what I get from the cards itself, from the pictures. 38, Hunter Moon. So now I'm going to go to the book. I like doing the pictures first and then going and looking at the book, because I have so many decks of oracle cards that, I don't pretend to know them all, but I love looking at the books as well. Hunter moon, take advantage of this time of abundance. It is all around you. Possibility and opportunity are everywhere. You are open and responsive to the abundance around you. There is enough for everyone. Hunters are prepared, had to be prepared. They had to have their weapons ready and their tracking skills honed. Abundance isn't present all the time, but this is going to be a time of abundance for you. Well, it's leading up to the Christmas period. And it's a moon of plenty, the Hunter moon. Game was at its most plentiful. Leading up into the Christmas period, which is for a lot of people a time of goodwill, and it's also a good time to put aside some of the grievances from the past 4 years and reach out. There's an abundance of love out there too. There's an abundance of things out there, and maybe it's a good time to share as well. Gather things around you and be sure that you're going to have enough. You're going to have what you need, I guess. So that you can see the difference between my interpretation and the books, and I think that both is true. Abundance, yeah. To me, but also it means just, you will have enough. Be assured you will have enough, and there'll be enough for everyone. So doesn't seem that way sometimes, does it? Protection. Your higher power, however you describe this, is a loving and protective energy. You are loved and protected. Identify your fears. You can protect yourself better. Trust in yourself. Yeah, well, trust that you're being protected and looked after, and that you can protect yourself as well. Okay, that's the one in crescent one, protection. And 33 is the blossoming moon, the flower moon. Do not give up. You have planned for this. Take no notice of what others think or say about you. Open and rise. Someone around you may be jealous of your success. Mark your victories. Don't let fear take away the feeling of hope, okay? And don't let it prevent you from doing things that will help you blossom in the future. And don't let it tamp down that blossom of hope in the future. They will blossom. Seeds blossom into what you intend. So if you want your seeds to be seeds of hope, they will blossom into hope. Time to plant your seeds and believe in that. Time to plant your seeds of hope and believe in that. Anyway, that's really interesting. I find it fascinating. I like to think that somewhere between what I say and what I get from the cards and what the book tells me about the card, there's a meeting. Oh, thank you very much. Deborah Costro, thank you for that lovely comment. Thank you to Georgie Moon. Do you see COVID as a stand-down code from Putin? Not sure what to make of that. Come back to you. Let's go back to my little book. Parler by Rebecca Mercer. Ratzenberger future in the Republican Party. Let's have a look at Ratzenberger. What's in his future with the Republican Party and everything? The words that just went through my head was he's needed. Interesting. Started with the highest truth and compassion. Thank you for helping gain insight and clarity. Question of Secretary of State. Let's have a look at what is. Yes, I'll tell you what, we've had a damning report over here on some of our SAS troops, and 39 counts of nasty stuff. And it's not a very good report, and yeah, we should all be demanding changes. We should be demanding better of our troops. Yes, there are some situations where you can't know. There are some situations where, yeah, what they do is not nice, but in the situation they're in, we have to live with the fact that they sometimes have to do some not nice things. But there are other situations where there's no excuse, We should be demanding better of them. We should be understanding when they're put in positions that are, not nice, but unless you've been there, you can't really know. So, but there are other positions. Some of this report included incidences of prisoners of war being killed and then being written down as killed in action, but they weren't. They were prisoners at the time. So false reporting and things like that, stuff like that, we should be demanding better of our troops. Understanding where it's a situation where you can't understand it, but you have to accept that, bad things happen, and they wouldn't necessarily do those sorts of things in other circumstances. But then there are those circumstances where you have to say, no, we demand better of you. Doesn't matter whose country the troops are. Because I have family members who are in the Defence Forces, and, I had a cousin who's gone to Afghanistan, uncles, one in the Navy, one in the Army, an aunt who's in the Army, both my grandfathers were in the Army. My husband and my brother were both in the Army Reserve, and it's like, I support the troops, but I also demand that, their actions are justified. Whether I can understand it at the time, what happened at the time or not, and how it came about, that's a different thing. But killing somebody who's already surrendered to you and is in a position of, submissive position as a prisoner or whatever, no. Anyway, enough of that. Let's see. Ratzenberger, Secretary of State Ratzenberger from Georgia. What's going to happen? What's lying in his environment? He is so over it. This is like the bored kid in class who's just so over it, who's like, I'm going to stir things up because I'm over this crap. But that doesn't mean he's bored or spoiled. It's like, I am so over all this crap that the Republicans are trying to pull to keep a man in office who is clearly lost. And it's like, I'm going to stir things up because I need to. I need to come out and say, you know, what's been happening. And yeah, so it's like he put his phone down after talking to Lindsey Graham, and he also made sure someone else was on the call and could hear it. He rolled his eyes and he said, I am so effing over this. I'm going to make some noise. But for a good reason. You know how people say kids in class who are disruptive and all that and cause trouble? There's often a reason why they are that way. There's often a reason why they're causing trouble and stuff. And this is Ratzenberger. I'm over it, you know. His challenge is overcoming. It is dragging back a weakened federal Republican Party, a Republican Party that has been self-sabotaging for the last probably 12 years, ever since Obama went in. They've been on this path, and probably actually even longer than that, way back to when Newt Gingrich, who I'm not much for name calling or stuff, but I described him to a friend of mine as him crawling out of whatever primordial swampy rock he's been hiding under. Ever since he made an appearance, it's been self-sabotage, weakness. It's weakened the Republican Party, led them into an era of self-sabotage with this partisanship. You know, if you're bipartisan, you're not a real Republican, that sort of stuff. That's a challenge for Ratzenberger. At the base of this reading for him, he was really, really upset at what Lindsey Graham did. It really upset him and it pissed him off. Again, it's like, I'm going to make some noise. He's sort of, and these are both pages or names. So that means it's a relatively new decision on his part to make that noise. He's been busy, being the Secretary of State of Georgia. And it's like, that doesn't mean he's all good guy. I mean, he's been the Secretary of State of Georgia, and Georgia's been one of the most guilty states for voter suppression in ages, But all of this has led up to a burden for him that he's just like, I'm over it. He knows what he's done, and he's ready to. Don't be surprised if he comes out and says, I played a role in the past, but this is ridiculous. He accepts that any effort he may have made of himself towards it has worked. He's, He's not really prepared for what's coming at him, I think. Weak structures that collapse under the weight of their own mistakes. When they collapse, they don't, it doesn't matter who's underneath it or, you know, who's around. They're going to collapse. And they can take out a lot of people. And he's not prepared for what's going to happen. He's going to be sharing some knowledge in the immediate future and sharing information and resources. And yeah, it's a bit of a change in his ways, but in his environment, he's not exactly been guiltless in the past. So there's, you know, so he is going to reap what he sows. There is going to be some mistakes that he's going to be paying for. But people are seeing someone who they could maybe throw some support behind it if he does like the Cohen thing. God, I was stupid. You know, I don't know why I bought into all this or whatever. So he's got some support and from some surprising people, I think. But again, he's not sure if he's really not sure if he's going to be able to withstand the battle that's coming at him, and if his defences are going to stand. He hopes he can, but he fears he might not be able to. Oof. Change of fortune for him, a change of luck, but not necessarily a good one, at least within the Republican Party. He's going to be made an offer he doesn't want. Biased justice. A split. Love is a split from the party. Yeah, he's not going to be prepared because he's spoken out and declared this. I think I won't say he's going to get booted out of the Republican Party, but they're going to make it hard for him to stay. Don't be surprised if he ends up resigning as Secretary of State and going over and joining the Lincoln Project. But he won't do that until after Biden's declared. It's interesting. He's in for a rocky road. He's in for a bit of a rocky ride. Now, this parlor, that's Ratzenberger, Secretary of State Ratzenberger in Georgia. Well, Trump's shit. I was reading the question, and the question is, will Trump's Twitter get shut down? And as you might realise, when I stop myself with the shh, maybe that will get shut down too. Hi, Flora. Yeah, will Trump's Twitter get shut down? And if so, how will he react? I have honestly believed for the last 3 years at least that they need to go back and look at Nelson Rockefeller. He wasn't a perfect person, but look at the speeches he made. When he made them, he was vice president to Gerald Ford, wasn't he? Thank you, Sophie Edwards. Thank you. For some reason, I think that if they go back, a group of Republicans go back and look at Rockefeller's speeches. I'm not saying he was perfect or anything. I'm damn sure he wasn't, but I have looked and seen some of his speeches from the late 60s and the 70s, and I know his presidential bid was cut off by some twat. They need to be looking at him, at some of the things he said, because he was ahead of his time. A lot of what he was speaking about then is applicable now. It's easier to infiltrate. Henry Kissinger. No, Nelson Rockefeller. I was watching a thing about him, and something about him and the things he was saying was like, they need to go back and listen to what he was saying at that time in the late 60s and in the 70s. There's something about him that could really reshape, about the things he was saying at the time, that could reshape the Republican for the better. Not everything, like I said. I'm sure he made his mistakes, and I'm sure there's some people who revile him, but I just got that feeling at the time. That I'm going to light my candle here. I haven't lit it yet, so. Whoopsie daisy. But, you know, I don't think any political pundits are going to be asking me for my opinion. Ooh. They will give Biden 4 T's records. What does that mean? The age of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. Okay. Trump's Twitter account. Will Trump's Twitter be shut down? I really don't care about the other itter. Oh, thank you, Flora. Yes, it is cute, isn't it? I love the colours. Anyone who's been watching will know I love colours. I love colours. Okay, will Trump's Twitter be shut down? Yes. Maybe. Isolation. That's a good, yeah. They don't have to let you have an account, you know. Ace of Wands. Blockage of his creations and his ideas, blocking his creations and his ideas. That's a no, but it's still 3 of Cups. Yes, there's lots of support for the idea of shutting down his Twitter account. 4 of Swords, which is a maybe. Either way, it's reversed that, so not just retiring from the limelight, but being forced out of the limelight. 10 of Cups. but it's reversed, so that's a no. But it is unhappy families. They don't have to give him a platform. In fact, they might be introducing some new rules and standards with regard to political agendas. And yeah, I'm not quite, yeah, I get something like that. They don't want him as part of the Twitter family, that's for sure. King of Pentacles. If they keep him on there, they could suffer financial loss because people just, you know, it's one thing as President Trump, but if they don't turf him out, they could suffer financial loss from advertisers, from other people just cancelling their accounts and things like that. Knight of Wands. My way or the highway. Yeah, he's going to get so abusive. He's going to get so abusive that, yeah, they have to. Seven of Cups. Yeah, he's going to be like gaslighting and stuff. Yeah, no, yes, they are going to kick him off. How will he react? He's going to try and sue him. Chaotic, abusive. Yeah. He, you know, if he loses Twitter, he loses a main conduit to people. One of his biggest conduits for people. And yeah, it's really going to temper him down. Yeah, he's going to try and take him to court. He's going to feel betrayed. Oh, nasty, abusive. Yeah, he's going to go off his head. You know. So yeah, I think they will cancel his account. He's not going to handle it well. Will the Biden administration shut down Facebook? Well, no, I don't think so. I think what they're better off doing is it's an American-based company. Will the Biden administration shut down Facebook? No, I don't think they will. But will they investigate? Will they look at implementing new rules and regulations on social media, US-based social media platforms? He's rage tweeting right now, is he? Yeah, the fifth dimension, the age of, and the moon is in the seventh house, and Jupiter aligns with Mars. It's from Hair, I think, the musical Hair. Godspell is another great musical, which has a wonderful song, Day by Day. There's definitely going to be some agreement in the Biden administration. Facebook. This is something that's been coming for a while with Facebook. They are, owned by US person. There's going to be a change for them. So that, yeah, I think there's definitely going to be some investigation. This is definitely not going to do much good for Facebook. They're going to be suffering. They're going to temperance. It's going to upset the balance because they've been used to upset the balance and disrupt things. There's going to be a look at they're going to be looking at the Facebook family in what I mean by that is where they're licensed, the countries that it operates in and stuff like that. They're going to use it as a way to, they're going to look at how it's being used to abuse positions of power. And it's wasted resources, losses, scattered. Yeah, definitely. There's definitely going to be some investigations into Facebook. They're going to look at their role in critical decisions, such as elections, not just here, but in other places as well. Not just in the US, but in other places as well. Definitely. I think Zuckerberg's going to be on his way out. Facebook is going to have to answer some hard questions. And it won't be the first time he's been called up to Congress to answer that. Yeah, he's corrupt. I think he's allowed it to be corrupted. And in doing so, he's corrupt. Like I said once, I did a reading on Facebook and it scared the hell out of me. So I generally don't touch it a lot. But definitely they need to look at some of the coding that's being used. Yeah, it needs more regulation and they will be looking at that. I think Facebook as a social media platform will survive, but I think there's going to be a lot of changes made to it, a lot more regulation with it, not just with that, but with Twitter, with Instagram. There's going to be more regulation brought into things. If it's an American-based thing. I'm going to have a sneak peek at Zuckerberg. What is in Zuckerberg's future? Will the Biden admin investigate the votes in Texas, Florida, and Kentucky? No. No, Egypt, I don't think they will. But I think the states might, Kentucky, there's really going to be some changes coming to Kentucky over the next 4 years. I'll have a look at that next on Wednesday. Texas and Florida. I think Kentucky's going to undergo a bit of a change. Zuckerberg, what's going on with Zuckerberg? I'm using the Essential Tarot here. Again, beautiful cards. Knight of Pentacles. Lawyer up, lawyer up, lawyer up. Lawyer up, boyo. Make that one phone call. Oh, he's going to need lawyers. Queen of Wands reversed. Blocked intuition. Lack of compassion. Disbelief. A refusal to listen to intuition. Lack of compassion. Cold-hearted. This is him. It's not a comment on his sexuality or anything. It's just him. Oh, his challenge is going to be stopping people from walking away from him, from Facebook, advertisers, investors. It's a publicly listed company now. His challenge is going to be staying in control. He could be forced out. If Facebook is to survive, he's going to have to go. Knight of Cups. Trump. He's in bed with Trump. Oh, that's not a nice visual, is it? Oh, the lovers. Okay, this is broken families, broken relationships. Reverse the lovers, reverse the snake. He's the serpent. He's the serpent. He's the serpent whose job it was to hand the apple to Trump. This is his relationship with Russia. It's going to come out. He's got a relationship with Russia there somewhere. The Fool, he's going to be on a new journey. This is a lovely card, isn't it? Darkest before dawn. Strength. He, in the near future, he's going to need a lot of strength. He's going to need a lot of strength in the near future. Page of Wands, there's going to be some whistleblowers. People are going to come out and start talking about him and start talking about some of the things that he's been doing. That's in his environment. People see someone who needs to be tamped down, someone who needs to be suppressed, I guess, who needs to be told to, hey, cool it, settle down there. They see someone who's upset the balance of the democratic process, but not just in America, but in other places as well. This is the Temperance card. Now, hopes and fears. 7 of Cups. He's really hoping that people will buy the bullshit that he's going to be spewing out, but he's fearing that they won't. He is delusional. if he thinks they will. What are his outcomes? Ace of Wands reversed, blocked creativity, blocked opportunities, blocked ideas, blocked. He's going to be blocked. The World reversed. This is the end of his journey with Facebook, and he's not going to start another one. The World is him starting out with a new enterprise. It's not going to happen. It's going to be the end of his journey with Facebook, but he's not going to be able to create a new. He's going to be blocked from that. 10 of Cups. Going to go home crying to mummy, the family. There's going to be some tension with some members of his family. I think he isolated a lot of members of his family. He's going to go home and try to get them back on side. 9 of Wands. He's not prepared for what's coming. He doesn't have his defenses built from what's coming. He's not prepared. Is Mark Zuckerberg going to end up in jail? Let's have a look. He's going to be kicked out of Facebook. Oh, TikTok, yeah. Trump's banished TikTok. Well, that's going to be lifted. No, that's ridiculous. Is Mark Zuckerberg going to end up in jail? He's definitely going to be called forth to answer. Queen of Swords. He's definitely going to end up in court. That's a yes. This is a yes. Hope, inspiration, but vulnerability as well. 5 of Cups is a no, but he's really going to regret some of his actions. So I've got 2 yeses and a no. Knight of Wands is a yes. That's investigations into him. Page of Wands, whistleblowers, yes. 5 of Wands, there's going to be a lot of conflict within Facebook. He's going to, yeah, actually, no, he's going to be tied to a lot of conflict using that platform that he created using it. He is, that's a yes. He thinks he's not going to be sitting pretty for much longer. 2 of Swords. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a toss of a coin. The Empress, the rule of law, is going to catch up with him. Tower. Movement into not a nice place. Movement to another place. Swords. The Queen of Cups. He's going to need to. He's going to look to Russia for help. Don't be surprised if he ends up going and living in Russia to avoid going to jail in America. Oh. For Trump's legacy, they should name a venereal disease after him. Oh, come on. Venereal diseases aren't as bad as Trump. You know, do you really want to put them in the same class as him. Anyway, my darlings, I'm going to wrap up in about 10 minutes. So let's have last minute questions. Who's got questions for the last 10 minutes? Yeah, I think he's trying to get Saudi. I think Saudi is one of the countries that have said thanks, but no thanks to Trump, Peker. I think if Trump is successful in running away to any country, it'll be Russia. Or possibly Brazil. Lindsey Graham, I said when I read on him after the election that he wasn't going to be there for long. Oh, Susan Collins, yes. What's going to happen with Susan Collins? Did she cheat? Did she? Okay. Guides of the highest truth and compassion. Thank you for helping me gain insight and clarity into the questions. Whether or not Susan Collins cheated. What will be the outcome of this? Susan Collins cheat. Susan Collins cheat. There is. Yes. Uncover the news. Yes, he will. If he can, he will. There's no need to throw cards on that. If he can, he will. Okay, Susan Collins, did she cheat? Yes, and there's going to be news coming out about it. She's going to try and gaslight it. So that's a yes and a maybe. Yes. Yes, she did. She cheated in some way. Could be gerrymandering. But this is the reason she didn't vote against Trump in the impeachment, because she wants to hang on to power, and she knew that if she did that. So she's been kowtowing to Trump. 10 of Swords. That was reversed, actually. That came out reversed. So, yes, she did. She stabbed America in the back. 9 of Cups. 10 of Swords. No, stabbed America in the back. 9 of Cups, yes. Queen of Pentacles, yes. She used her resources. Going back to an old trick, gerrymandering, same as with Kentucky. Knight of Swords. She's going to have to defend herself legally at some stage. 10 of Cups, the Republicans. Yeah, the Republican Party helped her. Yeah, she cheated. There will be stuff coming out about it. Ace of Wands. Yeah, new investigations maybe. 7 of Wands. She'll be standing her ground, but she's not going to retire or anything. But she'll stand her ground, but I don't think she'll be able to run for another term of office. She wasn't favoured to win, no. Gerrymandering. Why did 45 and some GOPs go to Russia? They went so they can be briefed of what Putin wanted them to do, basically. That's it. Yeah, you do need election reform before 2022, but it's going to take longer than that to do it. I think what they need to do is start with a look at the boundaries, electoral boundaries within states. Lindsey Graham. Is Lindsey Graham going to have to resign? Queen of Wands, there's pressure on him from Congress to do so. Ace of Cups. People are very, very upset. He had no business doing what he did. He did it because he wanted to help Trump win. This is a yes card, but people want him to resign. More details are going to come out about him. It's the beginning of the end. Reap what you sow, Lindsey. Reap what you sow. Judgment. Yes. Four of Cups, an offer he doesn't want. So maybe. There's no no's here. There's lots of yeses and maybes. The Hierophant is a maybe. No, Three of Swords. Yes, he is, because it's going to be heartbreak for him. Yeah, he's going to have to resign. When? I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be that far in the future. Probably within the next 6 months. It could be January. I'm going to ask the question. If Lindsey Graham resigns, there'll be a special election for his Senate seat. Will the Democrats win it? So, if Lindsey Graham resigns and there's a special election for his Senate seat, will the Democrats win that Senate seat? Six of Pentacles. Yes. Magician. Yes. They have everything they need. Sharing of resources. There'll be a lot of resources put into winning it. Yes. Because the truth will have come out about Lindsey Graham or all the stuff that he's been doing. High Priestess. He's been working not for the people of South Carolina, but for somebody else's agenda for a long time. The World, end of one journey, start of the other, end of a Republican in that seat and start of Democrat in that seat. Yes, yeah, because he's not going to be wanted. They're not going to want another Republican there. So they're going to be offered another Republican, and the people in that constituency aren't going to want him. Yeah, Republicans are going to be out in the cold for a while. Chariot, movement forward, victory for Democrats. Yeah, I think if Lindsey Graham resigns and there's a special election, there'll be a Democrat end up in his seat. Someone who's a lawyer in that seat. And it's going to be quite a few terms before a Republican gets back into that seat again. Okay, I'm going to go now, guys. Thank you very much for your time. For the donations too, very appreciated. I will be back on Thursday. Remember, I've moved my lives to Thursdays now. Just a scheduling thing. It works better for me. And it's going to be really, really interesting. The next few months is going to be really, really interesting. Yeah, I'm going to have a look at some of the states, Maine, Kentucky, some of those states where it's clear that that person shouldn't have won, but they did. What's going to happen with them over the next few years? Oh, thank you, Beaker. That's very nice of you. Again, thank you again for the support. Thank you for everyone who's been watching, whether you've gone on the chat or not. I appreciate you all watching, and as I said, this has been a really amazing journey for me, and it's a journey I want to continue on. So, and we'll be looking at me reading on more diverse things too. The trumpet thing for me was very interesting. So, you know, I want to go back and do some more mystery tour recordings and all that. Just finding the time. Anyway, love you all and be good. Bye-bye. Stay strong and stay loving. Okay, bye-bye.